what opened up in the 50s? Okay.
Tell me.
And they're still around, most of them. I think they all are.
Can't read it.
Dunkin' Donuts. Church's Fried Chicken.
Yum.
1952 also, and started in Utah.
Right.
KFC. The place you want to go when there's no place else.
In-N-Out? No.
Denny's.
Denny's. Oh, yes.
Yes. Burger King. And 53 out of Oklahoma is Sonic. Taco Bell. And then in Kansas. How did Kansas come up with Pizza Hut? 1958.
Someone who had a hankering.
A hankering for terrible pizza.
Gdayall, and welcome to episode 41. Casseroles and 50s cooking, because sometimes you just want to relive your youth and surround yourself with comfort food. Phil?
I'm comfortable.
I know. This is Chad. Is something wrong? Has your grandmother passed away? Your cat got run over? You stubbed your toe? I'm so sorry. Here's a casserole. It'll make it all better.
I know. It's supposed to rhyme, Barbara, but that didn't rhyme too bad.
No, I don't
but
think
we're going to talk about cafe because it's winter time. It's comfort food. It's something you could do. And we just mentioned like 5 minutes to do and 3 hours to cook.
That's right. And it's just something hot on the table. Everyone can enjoy it.
Yeah,
it's cozy.
Yeah, dish it out.
That's exactly right. And sometimes when you're doing some pantry cooking, so I've got not much left. What do I have in there? They can throw it all together.
Yeah, you got leftover meat.
That's right, because who knows if it's wrong?
Or if you have meat in the freezer, you can't identify.
I've done that, and I keep thinking, I really thought I'd remember what that was. I should have written on the bag.
I do that all the time now. I make sure that it's written on the bag, because otherwise, what is this? I don't know. Okay.
Mystery meat.
Yep.
So, do you make casseroles?
Well, I don't know if you call you had my soups and stuff like that. That's close enough to a casserole.
It is. Some of them are hearty enough that would be.
But a casserole, is that like something that's supposed to be baked, like baked macaroni?
Well, yeah, because actually lasagna is even a casserole.
That's a casserole,
sort of
yeah.
So I think every culture has it, but it was...
So a stew is not a casserole unless you put it in the oven.
Yes, that's right. So if you do it stovetop...
Yeah, don't count.
And, I love it. There's a line from Steel Magnolias where Daryl Hannah's character, I think is Darnell's her name, and she goes, but I want to make something that freezes beautifully. That's the freezes beautifully section of my cookbook. She wants to give them a casserole to put them in the freezer, so when everyone's getting better from their sick, they've got a casserole there. And
well, Jeanette was going through the freezer this morning and saying, what do you want to eat? I'm just having breakfast. I don't know what I want for dinner. So out comes the pork chops, and then we had pea soup.
Oh, yeah.
And so I said, well, she was going to put one back. She said, well, the soup is like a meal. I said, yeah, but maybe I just want a cup of soup, with the pork chop, which goes pretty good.
Well, yeah.
And then the other thing we had in there was that I made a few weeks back is a Gordon Ramsay's recipe with beef shanks or beef, what do you call it? Ribs.
You're right.
And do that with, it has a lot of garlic, a lot of red wine. That'll be a casserole.
That sounded good, yeah.
Yeah, because you do it on stuff and you put it in the oven, and then you take the meat out, and then you get all that juice and all that's on the bottom. Then you strain that, and then best thing to do is then let it sit in the refrigerator for a little while.
Yep.
Get all the fat off of it.
Skim it off.
Because there is a lot of fat in beef ribs. Get all that off, and then there's your sauce that goes over your potatoes and everything.
Did you add a half a kilo of expletives?
A what?
Gordon Ramsay, did you?
Oh, expletives.
Get in the effing oven.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Now, again, I get tired of housekeeping in my own house, but here's a bit of housekeeping today.
Oh.
So, it's a new month.
It's a new month. It's
so
a
there's
new
a
day.
It's a new code word.
And the code word, is July. Do you say July or July?
July.
I like those people say July.
July.
Those are the ones that are the real Americans. Yeah. We're going to 4th of July holiday.
July. It sort of depends who I'm with, because I've got enough of relatives that had a southern accent and Midwestern. I can kind of chameleon my way through it, depending on it. So the code for this month of July, I didn't say it right, is apple pie. Right? So swoon will not work anymore. That was last month is gone.
Yep. It's the apple pie month.
That's right. So you can click on the listener discount logo and there'll be special items and they'll change during the month as well. And they will request the secret code, which is
apple pie.
Apple pie it is. Now, and please make sure if you are enjoying us, I hope you are, that you subscribe to us. Give us a review, maybe share it with your friends.
Yeah, tell us you hate us.
Yeah, well, you can tell Phil you hate him. Leave me alone, please. And then we'll get back to the show.
Yeah, but first, if you want to do any of that stuff, call podcasts@usafoods.com.au, and that gets to us. And then
that would be email us.
We could even put your name on the air.
Yeah, we could.
Oh.
Well, because we talked about Megan last week, sent us a nice email. So we're going to take a walk through. We're going to meander through some 50s food.
Going back in time.
Back in time. No particular order, just a few things that come to mind. Mm-hmm. And then some of this seems quite weird, but when you figure out the food innovations that were happening in the 50s, it sort of answers why some of it was a bit different.
Yeah, well, the 50s was like happy days.
Well, it was. And I think the food we're talking about sort of goes from almost late 40s to early 60s.
Yeah, to after the war. Yeah. To the like the Cultural Revolution of the early 60s.
And people wanted to feel modern, and they kind of had some money they could spend, and they new inventions.
It was freedom also, because we just got through WW1 and WW2 right after that, and then the Korean War. So
all of that. Yeah. And people wanted to have some not only interesting things, so dinner parties were in.
They had the suburbs came about.
Yep, that's right. And then also
Donna Reed,
Donna Reed, Mrs. Cleaver.
Yeah.
As well. People didn't want to necessarily want to spend all the time in the kitchen doing the hard work. There was some new fancy shortcuts to try. And we're also at the end of this, we're going to post there's some main courses for baby boomers in the 50s, an LA Times article, and there's some great casserole recipes in there. So we're going to talk about that at the end, and we're going to post it there for you. So if you want to have a flashback, you can do that.
Go back in time, back with Wolfman Jack. my.
You go to Wolfman Jack, and I go to Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Hello, Royal Ugly Dudes. Okay, I'm going to hit the first fact, if that's okay.
Okay.
Fun fact 1. There are 2 histories of casseroles. So there is the ancient medieval history. So, old
bodies
times.
And all that. No.
Yeah, the plague, a lot of stuff. But, casserole dish is a dish with a lid on it that you cook in. Mm-hmm. So these were sort of going in fires and things. And then they kind of came about again in America during sort of the 50s when people were cooking in the oven again. And it's called, there's a great book from Clifford A. Wright, and I love the name of this book, Bake Until Bubbly, the Ultimate Casserole Cookbook. And he also read one called Hot and Cheesy.
Hot and Cheesy.
So that is.
So was this all sponsored by Corel because they made all those casserole dishes?
That's right. How many? We were speaking about wedding presents last week. How many Corel dishes or Pyrex?
Yeah, we still got them, and I hate using them because they're so hard to clean.
They are very difficult to clean. Yes, I have one, and then I inherited some from a friend, but the lids don't fit in the oven because the lid sits too high, so the rack doesn't work. But anyway.
All right. So fun fact number 2.
Yes.
Many have colorful names. I know where this came from. Strata?
Yep.
Like Jose Strata? Or what was that guy from the
I don't know.
From the cop show? And the 2 motorcycles, wasn't it?
Oh, no, that's Eric Estrada.
Estrada.
And Larry, what was his name? I can't think of it. Yes.
So we got
Poncho.
Strata, Supper. How does Supper? Supremes.
Yeah.
Delights. Hot dish.
If you're Minnesota, it's hot. It's not hot dish. It's hot dish.
Hot dish.
Hot dish.
Okay. And then one called Ham Melody.
Yeah. So medley.
Medley. So that's like Bid Medley and the Righteous Brothers. Yes.
So I think
musical theme here.
They had fancy names. You didn't say casserole. This is going to be a
so
like a hot dog supper. Beanie Weenie Supreme. So American-style casserole cooking, this is fun fact number 3,
Yeah.
reached its peak of popularity in the 50s when food companies whose marketing research allowed them to estimate the kitchen skills of their customers, promoting their products by offering recipes with very simple directions. These dishes were based on good old 1, 2, 3 ingredient recipes that convenience food cooks could master.
Now, what do they do now with all these? I don't know what number we're up to. X generation, Z generation.
Z. We're in Z.
Z.
Yeah.
They don't even know how. Like if they're driving a car, how to change the tire. So how are they going to open up a can of soup?
But they can read the instructions on the back of the can.
No, they only know how to call menu log.
They do that. Do you know? I'm
making a convenient dinner. Yeah, what's the number for menu log? Yeah,
I've got 2 generation Z's.
Yeah.
And it's just sort of like, I would never spend that much money on food delivery. Like when I was their age, it would scare
I
me.
wouldn't. No,
but,
Jesus.
you know.
I complained when pizza went from 15 cents to 20 cents a slice. So we'll be back. Just a short break.
Thank you. To take our meander through. It's like a cakewalk.
That's a cakewalk. We're going to walk through the 50s.
And I think people.
Go ahead, keep talking.
How you
background
have
music.
Beautiful. That's a gelatin molds. Not just the ones we've talked about with the salads. I can't do this with you doing that.
Okay. All right. So Jello-Mos, we talked about that.
Yeah.
But we got a special one on this one, I think. The one with the tomatoes.
Yes, that's coming up. So that'll be part of it. But people were using fancy molds and just it was sort of a centerpiece at a dinner party or something a bit fancy. But I still don't understand Jell-O in molds. But I like my Jell-O in a cup.
I have mold on my cheese a lot.
Yeah, it's different now. And I think we might be the last of the generation that received a fondue set as a wedding gift.
Yeah,
1991.
It's due for a comeback.
It is due for a comeback now, isn't it? So there was another thing. And, we got to think of World's Fair again. The 1964 New York World's Fair. Switzerland exhibited that. And all of a sudden it became the thing to do. Invite people over.
And have a fondue.
Yes. And good old favorites like Swedish meatballs.
I was at the 1964 World's Fair.
Were you? Did you see the fondue?
No. Oh. I went twice.
Did you?
Yeah, my uncle was here. Uncle Brian came over from Australia. So we went there with the family.
Yeah. And
because that was a bit slow for me, being a young kid, like, let's go. And then one day I decided to go on my own.
Oh, my God.
That's pretty adventurous for an 11-year-old.
That would be.
Yeah. So, I took the train from 18th Avenue in Brooklyn.
Yep.
To Times Square.
Yes.
Right? And then from Times Square, you take the number 7 train to Flushing Meadows.
Right.
And got off there and went to the World's Fair by myself.
Did your parents know you were going?
I think so. But I did it daytime. I was home by,
home by dark?
Yeah.
What was the attraction? You already been once.
I've been once, but I wanted to see a lot more of it, and
because grown-ups are sitting there looking at stuff you don't care about.
Yeah, they're looking at stuff they don't care about. And also, I wanted to move a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
So I went to all the museums, all the things I wanted to go to, they were popularized. I didn't want to go see maybe France, but I wanted to go to like General Motors and stuff like that. All that, like the boys stuff, Yeah. So it's quite interesting. And they came back alive.
Well, and that's fantastic.
Yeah, show you how safe New York was during the 60s.
Well, the stuff I'm watching in New York in the 70s, it looked like it kicked it up a notch for the 70s.
They did.
Yes.
Yeah, the Alphabet City came about. That was the late 60s and all that.
Well, I'm glad you came back alive. I don't know. I think you might get in trouble now if you let your kid go at that age.
Well,
there's some stuff you can do. I mean, we did that. Like, my parents, were at work. So all summer we were just on.
You're on your own.
We're on our own.
Yeah. Now, forget it, But the kids don't go out now anyway. So
no, they just text their friends that are next door. So now I think things were.
Well, best move on.
Yes, best move on. I think we get things like we're a little bit saucy because I think I'm actually going to mention later on, which I'll do it here as well. Like Swedish meatballs, Salisbury steak. It's like if you throw some gravy on it.
Yeah. It's nothing but a hamburger.
That's right. It was just saucy.
I was so disappointed. Now, this is a true story.
Yes.
All right. So we were traveling. I don't even remember where we were going. But anyway, we went from New York. We went through the Chesapeake Bay Bridge and Tunnel, which is like, I don't know, 23 miles long. You go on a bridge. You go through a tunnel, go to a bridge. Wow. Yeah, across the Chesapeake Bay. Right?
Yeah.
And then you end up in Salisbury, Maryland.
Right.
I was so disappointed. There was not one roast stand. There was plenty of chicken stands.
No
Salisbury steak stands.
That would upset me too.
I was like, well, come on.
It's false advertising.
Yes.
I used to like a good old Salisbury steak, Swanson's frozen dinner.
There you go.
Because it used to come with, I'm pretty sure it came with the apple charlotte dessert.
Oh, yeah. So that was what you wanted the most.
Yeah.
That little corner in the right.
And as I've said, it occasionally like a pea or a carrot would end up in the dessert. You have to pick it out. Like, oh, God.
It's cooties. Yeah. Cooties is a 50s word, I think.
Yeah, cooties.
Yeah.
We used to go up to each other, circle, circle, dot, dot. I've got the cutie shot. So you couldn't touch me. Now, tuna noodle casserole.
Yes.
I think this is about the epitome of casserole cooking. And I've got my grandmother's recipe. But here, let's just talk. I'm going to read this in its entirety because it's true. It's much maligned because it doesn't take much skill other than using a can opener. God bless the can opener. This dish was a staple in the 50s and 60s. It contained a can of tuna, a can of mushroom soup, various seasonings ranging from curry powder to American cheese.
Yeah.
And then it is, if you go down a little bit, the potato chip casserole.
Ooh, yeah.
Right? This is how my grandmother used to make it.
Yeah.
She then, so go as above, tuna and your cream of mushroom, and about 2 cups of crushed potato chips over the top.
Yeah, to make it, to get that taste, the saltiness, the crunchiness.
And there was no noodles in it. It was basically tuna and potato chips. It was fantastic. Yeah. And it's been a favorite of American home ec teachers. Meatless casseroles always have a tuna noodle one.
Yeah, and then in the 70s or 80s, they came out tuna helper. Remember?
That's exactly. Do you know someone sent us a Chris the other day asking for tuna helper.
Tuna helper. Okay.
And I've put it on the list if we can get it. And then so now, here we're going back to Miss Bess Truman. Yeah. You might not have the, the best.
She didn't invent the internet.
No. She didn't. Because in 1940, 7 years prior, Eugenia Japp urges her husband Leonard, who founded Jay's Potato Chips, to put a recipe on the chip bag, and he used her version of tuna fish casserole topped with potato chips. So, hey Bess,
now we had, going back, way back, this is not to the 50s.
Yeah.
Okay, but way back to when, probably, I don't know, 4th episode, we talked about grinding up potato chips, nachos, Cheetos, and using that in place of breadcrumbs.
That's exactly right. It's same deal.
Yeah, same deal.
I actually,
ahead of their time.
I might want to make that maybe for lunch.
What?
I don't know. At some
tuna noodle casserole?
No noodles, just tuna.
It's tuna and potato chips.
Yes.
Well, we got those nice potato chips in now.
We do
God,
too.
they're so good.
I had the Maui onion ones, so good, and the dill ones.
The dill ones, and then the ruffle sour cream and chive, I think it was, and ruffles are usually soft, rigid potatoes. You can't go ruffles. That's Lay's potato chips. Yeah. These ones were crispy as.
Yep.
Oh, and because of all the delays in shipping, of course, they came in. They were already at the Best Buy date, but they were like
crisp and fresh, and they didn't taste.
What brand were they?
Deep River.
Deep River, yes.
See, you can tell we get really excited when a new shipment comes,
especially when it's like food like that. Now let's try this.
You got to make sure it's okay.
Yes. It's almost by the Best Buy date. Let's make sure it's good. Well, I think we got to do another bag just to make sure.
We have to try all the flavors.
Yes, we do.
We did manage that.
We didn't try the jalapeno yet.
No. Well, that's always
Monday.
Yeah, that's right. So with the convenience of the 50s, going back to that.
Yeah.
So actually, how convenient is a bag of potato chips? You just smash with a rolling pin and throw it on top.
Yeah,
that's perfect.
Easy.
Pineapple upside down cake. So people started making things with boxed cake mixes. As we've talked about before with cakes. Mm-hmm. So you can make it fancy by, skillet. I think they're always best in a skillet, like a cast iron skillet. Yeah. Put your toffee-ish sort of brown sugar.
So all these
bubbling at
things
the
with
bottom.
the pineapple, like pineapple upside down cake, that came in the 50s. Hawaii came in the
Hawaii,
50s.
well, Hawaii became a state in the 50s. So
well, 59,
yeah, so people became like tropical tiki bars. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Book of Dano.
Book of Dano. Yeah, and also the other thing they used during the 50s was very popular is ham with the pineapples and cherries on it.
That's exactly right.
I had that
like a Hawaiian
thousands
steak.
of times. Yes, Hawaiian steak.
I think we just like putting a name on stuff.
And then
too.
also in the 50s, another one that came to stay,
Alaska.
And we had a Bake Alaska. Famous on every cruise line you ever go on. They always have a Bake Alaska night.
Oh.
Yeah, they come out with the waiters
the whole night.
with flaming Bake Alaskas, and they come. I'm still pretty sure that they still do it. It's like a ritual.
How fancy.
Yeah, it's like going through, like when I was a kid, when I came here with my mother.
Yeah.
Okay. We went over the equator.
Yes.
And we went by boat.
Right.
So once you come over the equator, it's a whole big party thing.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, it's like King Neptune and all that. So all the kids, what they do is they paint, you go by the pool, right? Because it's outside. And they got these big paintbrushes and they're painting you with this. But you know what they're painting you with?
What?
Melted ice cream. And then of course, they throw you into the pool.
And the pool man's fixing it the next day.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Yes.
I've never experienced anything like that, but that would be.
Yeah, crossing the equator was a big to do.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
I just remember just looking at my watch, flying over, going,
yeah.
"Okay, I think I need to change my time zone now."
And then we got chicken a la king.
Yum.
I don't think I ever liked it.
I liked it.
I didn't like the peppers in it. Well, at least the ones I had.
Well, my mom was pretty good because, like her, as a kid, she wasn't big on bell peppers.
Yeah.
So my grandmother used to make stuffed bell peppers, which is a 50s thing as well.
Yeah.
But she would make one, but just in a dish, not in the pepper, so my mom wouldn't get in trouble for not eating the pepper. So I'm pretty sure mom would have left that out.
Yeah.
But it had something sort of crunchy in it as well, so maybe celery. But the funny thing is the New York Public Library's menu archive shows that it was on like in many fancy restaurants.
Oh, yeah.
As well as on the Queen Elizabeth. So,
because it was the food of the day.
Well, yeah, that's probably true. But you can still get it in a can.
That's got to be better.
And the next one.
Ambrosia. We love ambrosia.
We do.
talk about it all the time.
And we've made it at work, too.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. It's yum.
So simple to make.
Yeah, it's just like, and for someone that doesn't enjoy a gelatin salad, it's pretty darn close, Phil.
There's no gelatin in it. You got no jelly in it. It's mushrooms.
No.
Can of
not
fruit.
Mushrooms. Fruit cocktail.
Fruit cocktail. Mushroom. Marshmallows.
Marshmallows.
Starts with an M. Same syllables.
Same syllables. That's right.
So you got marshmallows, coconut. Cherries, yeah. Unless that's already in your can of fruit salad.
But you can add some extra maraschino.
Yeah, I know. You're a maraschino person.
I am. And you can put nuts in it.
Yeah.
Rum. Yeah, you can do that. But I think every family has their own twist on it.
Yeah.
Because
and the more it sits, the better.
Oh, yeah. Like, it's my Waldorf salad, which is trashy, is basically ambrosia.
Oh.
But with celery in it, sort of thing. So we do that. Now, Phil.
Yes.
So the 50s, even when it came down to Mrs. Cunningham, which I think Tuesday night was meatloaf night, every day of the week she had a different one.
Yep.
You have the best meatloaf recipes. Please share. Like your dad's and yours.
Well, the meatloaf, we do it probably Italian style.
Yep.
Okay. So, main Italian style, so you get your chopped meat and Italian breadcrumbs, like the Progresso, or you can make your own, just season it with Parmesan cheese. But we always put extra cheese in it, either usually Romano or Pecorino. Chopped up parsley, a little bit more of that. Your eggs. Chopped up onions, a little salt and pepper. That's about it. Mix it up, taste it.
Yes.
So it tastes tartare steak almost, But that's how you know that it's the right amount of seasoning and stuff.
Yeah.
Then we formed it, put it in the oven, and what my father used to do, and then it's in all these things of the 50s when you look it up. He used to put rice around it, right? And then pour a can of Hunt's over the top of the meatloaf and on the rice. And of course the fat from the meatloaf drips out, gets into the bottom of the rice like a PA, sticking on the bottom. Best rice ever, because all that bottom stuff is just like crunchy. And then the tomatoes from the Hunt's tomato sauce.
Yep.
And it was just superb, and I still make it that way.
Oh yeah.
You know, and today, oh, you got to put onions on it because that's the way it's made. Yeah. Yeah. And I don't want rice. Well, don't eat it. Okay. Yeah.
I think Mom should try that. Mom has a really good meatloaf recipe.
Yeah.
But it's funny. She tried someone else's once.
Yeah.
I forgot I don't know what she did.
Oh, and I forgot one important ingredient.
No,
Ooh. It's one thing, and I also put it in my meatballs too.
Yes.
Is I use rolled oats. Okay, instead of more breadcrumbs, I use some rolled because I always want to make it a little bit more healthier, but it also makes it moister.
Oh,
okay.
You know,
and you don't even taste the oats. You don't see them because they just dissolve. So it's like a sort of like a thickener in soup, so to speak. But it just makes the meat moist. You know, and I think the parsley does that too. I always say that the parsley makes it moist.
I have not put parsley in it. I should give that a go.
Well, again, it's the Italian bit to it.
Well, I should pop that in because I think we would like that. But yeah, my mom made someone else's meatloaf recipe, and my stepfather, who is a beautiful man, he just said, "You don't need to make that again." And my mother was so offended. It was like he didn't say that was awful.
Yeah,
well,
he was being nice.
He was. Yeah. But Mom makes some good meatloaf. She does it similarly. Yeah. There's no rice, but we put on top of it.
Well, the rice is on the side around it.
Yeah. We put ketchup and a little bit of Worcestershire sauce, brown sugar, and a little bit of mustard as a sauce.
It's almost like a barbecue sauce.
Yeah, and put that on top. Yeah. But I'm going to give that a go.
But, part of meatloaf was stretching the meat to more. That's why you put the fillers in it. The breadcrumbs or the oatmeal.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Because it has to. And do you put eggs in yours to hold it?
Yeah.
I put a couple eggs too. Mm-hmm. Now, when we were talking about the tiki thing earlier in Hawaii, Ramaki. Do you remember Ramaki?
Joey Ramaki? No. I don't remember any Ramaki.
I remember having Ramaki at something.
That's a strange Ramaki. Yeah.
So it was big. I don't remember going to luau themed parties because I think they were done. By the time I was going to anything. But at Trader Vic's used to serve Ramaki, which was a little bit of duck liver or chicken liver.
Yeah.
Wrapped in bacon.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And then put in soy sauce. So it had like this.
I can think, a sweet and sour sauce.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
So I see also you have your poo-poo platter. I remember the poo-poo platters at Chinese restaurants. And you had the little thing that in the front that like a little flame, but they used that.
They kept it.
Yeah, but they had the flame, so you roast it over, but then it tasted like the kerosene that was because it was the little cans of fluid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you're supposed to put the food over that.
No,
I
don't think so.
To eat a dish with that.
But you did it anyway. Still here.
Our friend every year makes like little bacon wrapped. Isn't it bacon wrapped? What is it? Shrimp.
Oh yeah.
For New Year's Day. But if you put
anything
just in it,
bacon. Yeah, chestnuts and bacon.
Oh yeah. There we go. And
dates cut them up, put walnuts, and then wrap them up with bacon.
Yes. Yes, I do that. Now, Phil, I'm going to say this one because I don't trust you.
What? Tunnel of love? No.
Tunnel of fudge cake.
The tunnel of fudge cake.
It is a bundt cake because the bundt cakes came out.
Yeah.
And so to promote them, they had all these great recipes. And this one actually won the 1966 Pillsbury Bake Off. So it had to be sort of a dense cake to hold the mold. Right. And then in the middle, it's almost like,
a molten
fondant.
cake?
Yeah, it's like that. But it's
you open it up and it bleeds. Yeah.
That's exactly. That sounds a bit violent. It oozes. It, I don't know, runs. So that was another thing that with marketing in the 50s is like a Nordic ware pan.
And they come out with all the recipes. Yeah.
Yes.
Jello did fabulous with that.
Jello is amazing because I'm going to go tomato aspic.
Yeah.
The recipe is lemon Jello and Hunt's tomato sauce, and then whatever vegetable you want to stick in it.
Yeah, and it just forms into a mold.
It looks moldy.
Yeah.
And we actually saw one that was a creamy one, and that looked like vomit, actually. Sorry, everyone. But Brendan was having the chills for that. So again,
that's like head cheese. You ever had head cheese?
I love head cheese.
Yeah. Right before my Aunt Connie passed away.
Yeah.
I went to see her down in Florida, and she made homemade head cheese or whatever the Italians call it. Oh, just to die for.
It is beautiful.
Yeah. People won't eat that, like, That's...
But it's not wasting the animal. Like if you're going to still eat animals, which I quite enjoy eating meat, you have to have the responsibility to use the whole animal, and that's part of it.
Yep.
It's that whole nose to tail thing.
There was a lot of that.
Although they could have named it differently. I think head cheese is a bit challenging.
Yeah. I think the Italians call it gabazelle.
Okay.
Which is like the head of the lamb.
Right.
So when they roast a whole baby lamb for Easter, the head is also like cut in half and roasted. And that's the gabazelle.
Right.
That's...
Yeah. I don't want it looking like it was.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want it looking back at you.
No, I don't. I'm not even fish. I don't want to look back at me. Also, we've got frozen dinners, which we talked about, I think, Thanksgiving. We talked after that. So all of a sudden, you could not have to waste hours in front of the, or in the kitchen.
Right.
You can now get those trays. Everyone could buy TV trays.
And sit down and watch the Flintstones.
Or watch the news and have your Hungry Man dinner, your Swanson's Hungry Man. And party mixes. So what became big then was checks. So here we go.
Yeah.
With recipes on the back and using their product, and now it is a
then they
holiday.
put it all together and sell it as already done.
And they
and
do
all
that,
different varieties. You know?
That's all right, because Chex Mix is so popular at work. Jeanette makes Muddy Buddies.
Muddy Buddies. That's so good.
Oh, that's like crack, Muddy Buddies.
Yes.
But that's another example of a company just on selling.
Yeah.
But you don't just have it for breakfast. You have it all up.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
And then we got beef stroganoff.
Oh.
I don't remember last time I had beef stroganoff.
Yes. I can't. It was, I think I was a kid, actually.
Yeah. And you put sour cream in it. Or was that?
No, you put sour cream. It's got mushrooms and sour cream. Yeah. And Brendan would never have that. Do you want some beef stroganoff on?
It's like goulash.
Yeah, I like goulash.
Yeah.
But, well, you know what? There's some of these things that were nothing to do with where they came from, but we picked names.
Yeah, Hungarian goulash.
Yeah, that's right. And it's like cheesy mac. It's like mac with macaroni with tomato sauce. So the fruit cocktail cake.
Is that something you give and give again? And
No, it's a classic that I learned in home ec in 8th grade. Mrs. Allegre taught us, Stephen's mother or Brian's mother, I can't remember. And it was like a dump cake. So it's quite like Dolly Parton and Steel Magnolias going cuppa a cup of fruit cocktail.
Okay. Just a little bit of everything.
Yeah, so you do a can of fruit cocktail, and I think it was just the box of cake. Mm-hmm. And then you stuck it in, and that was it. And like everything else on this page, is you bake it until golden bubbly.
Yep. Now, also you have here, next one is clam dip.
Yum.
Now, I don't remember so much clam dip as younger, but I do remember using the Lipton onion soup mix.
Yes, to make French
onion soup dip or whatever. Yeah, onion dip.
Well, and I think clam dip is basically that.
Just adding clams to it.
Just adding clams to it.
Can of clams.
Well, and I used to have, instead of clams, I had crab dip. So it was the crab meat through it.
Well, you were flirty-worty. You were just right up there.
Maybe it was what was on sale at the grocery store that week, Phil. A can of clams or a can of crab.
Yeah. And it was really, I remember having the first time I had the clam dip, with chips and stuff. It was just so good. It was salty, maybe because they didn't mix it properly or whatever, but it was always tasted very salty. But it was good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember going, this is like a grown-up dip. I wonder if I'll get in trouble eating too much of it.
Yeah. You do. And then, of course, we come to canned meat. How could anybody be so scrumptious as canned meat?
Well, it's like, I think this is like 44 countries.
But
it's huge.
Yeah, well, Spam is huge.
And it was huge in Hawaii. And then we're the era of Hawaii.
Yeah, Asia loves Spam.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why, but they love Spam.
I like it. I've had it fried, and I've had Spam musabi.
And the only other canned meat I can think of that is, well, because you get canned chicken now, you can buy that at Costco. We went through that phase.
Yeah.
Before we even moved here with Costco, we used to buy it and make chicken salad.
Right.
But now, which is really good at Costco, you could buy, I think, whatever chickens they cook and they don't use, they peel them and shred them up and just buy the fresh meat, which is a lot better than
that is, because it's like not salty. And
yes. It's be much better for you. And the other one, which is one of Jeanette's favorite, is corned beef, which comes out of a can.
Yes, that's not bad. But you know what else is? Vienna sausages.
Oh, God. Oh.
had the little jelly in it. It's like,
Oh, no.
I don't think we did a lot of canned meat. I think hopefully Mom will have a chat with me about that because I can't remember. I remember when I visited Zaina.
Yeah. I remember the canned ham, deviled ham.
Oh, now that
I
was
know.
good. I like deviled ham.
Looks like a can of.
It had paper.
Yeah, cat food.
It did. It kind of smelled like.
Well,
it a little bit too.
even on the honeymooners.
Yes.
I don't know if you remember one time they were making hors d'oeuvres. Right. And Norton got he just went in the closet, took out this can, opened up, and started spreading on the crackers, and it was it's supposed to be it was cat meat.
Well, it's not that far off, really.
And the Three Stooges did a thing with canapes, the canapé, and they used canapes also came out in the 50s.
Yep.
And used a lot of different things, and using the Spam or chopped meat and whatever it comes out of a can, and then make it fancy and cut some olives and put it on top of it. That's what they did.
Well, I know it was funny because even if you remember Elizabeth Taylor when she was the bride, the bride in the 50s. I remember when she got married. Oh yeah, so it's like there was a card. People would come over, and they'd have to put a card table out with a tablecloth with certain things to play cards.
Yeah, and
then there'd be certain glasses for this, and then there'd be canapes with that, and then there was a something for everything.
Yeah,
and it was just no wonder they didn't want to put that much work in the food because there was so much work in the
preparation.
To make it look fancy, and it was just a whole different era where we've gone easy peasy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, wacky cake is something that it was big from what I have read, big in this era as well as in Depression times because it has no milk and no eggs and no butter. So you just mix in one pan some, cocoa and some oil and water, and you mix it up.
Yeah.
And vinegar.
And
and it makes a lovely chocolate cake.
Oh, there you go.
Also, speaking about,
you have here. It was so good for last minute guests.
Well, yeah,
that you didn't want to come back again.
That's right. That's the one. Yes, that is exactly right.
Make them feel welcome. Here, have some cake.
Don't burn yourself on it with the vinegar or the heat.
Yeah. And your favorite next one?
Yeah,
Julia Child.
Well, she tried, and with her books, she did. She sort of brought French cooking to America because she really wasn't big on the whole.
No, but she brought the whole level of cooking right up there.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, made people think about what they're eating and preparing and making it enjoyable. Yeah, yes. I think that's the whole thing. I mean, all these cooking guys that are out now, from going back to Graham. The Australian guy, Graham.
Oh, I know you're talking about. I can't think of the name. Yeah.
Yep. So Graham, going out to him, and then the Frugal Gourmet.
Yes.
Yeah, these guys were making it fun to cook.
Mm.
Yeah, Graham Kerr.
That's right.
Yeah, making it fun to cook and adventurous. I mean that's how I feel. I'm cooking. It's an adventure. Every time I open the refrigerator up, I'm going to make something. It's an adventure. Yeah. What else can I do? How could I alter it a little bit?
And it makes it fun. And I think a lot of people who didn't really like cooking or weren't really taught how to cook or the enjoyment of it, it was just a chore.
And a lot of them still can't.
They're the ones that would be happy to put 3 cans of something in there because there's a hot meal, shut up and eat it.
Yeah, exactly.
But with Julia Child, you're right. And, and the Galloping Gourmet and, the Frugal Gourmet, all were, this can be, this is exciting and you can change the flavor this way.
It's an adventure.
And people will appreciate it too. And so she brought that up. And so French themed dinners, once her book came out, became sort of a thing. But really, beef bourguignon is a French casserole or boeuf bourguignon. Yeah.
And then you got your famous tamale pie.
Tamale pie, which I thought everyone had.
Nope.
No, but then I looked as a Californian thing. So there's some things you don't. My grandmother, I showed you before we started recording. I have my good old Betty Crocker cookbook that I got.
And the original recipe.
I had to make sure Mom gave me Grandma's recipe that I wrote it down in the back of the book so I could make it here. So it's sort of, it's that Mexican flavor on it. So Grandma used to use leftover meat. So either ground beef or whatever.
Yep.
And then you make it with cornmeal and chili seasoning and, olives and corn and all the good stuff that pretty much goes on tamales, but just in a casserole. And that was fantastic. And chicken dumplings, I remember chicken and dumplings and tamale pie. I remember looking forward to both of those because everything else was like, it's all right.
And then we did that one. So let's go to green bean casserole. And that still comes around every year.
Yep. I make it once a year. Yep. And that's it. And there's 20 million people that make it every year for Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah, so it's still around after all those years.
And I warn people because when the Australians come here, when I get a new batch and they look at it, I said, don't ask.
Just eat it.
Just eat it, and we'll talk about it later.
Yep. Okay, so now I've had do my little thing here.
Yes.
Even last week, I made a dish of the 50s. So Jeanette made it. We had pot roast.
Oh, yum.
Now, pot roast could go into many different forms.
Yes.
So the pot roast she made was more American style.
Yeah.
And she had to go to the butcher and explain to the butcher that she wanted to make a pot roast. They had no idea what she was talking about. Okay. And just say, I need a piece of meat that's not a very good piece of meat because it's going to be cooked for a long time. So like chuck roast. And that's what she ended up getting. And, that was, back from the 50s. And of course, when my father made it, it was more Italian style with little tomato into the so the gravy was more of a tomato gravy, not like a pasta sauce gravy, more like a red soupy gravy.
Yes. Yeah.
And so that we talked about pigs in a blanket. How do we?
I made those last week, Phil. I got our sausages.
Oh, they're little smokies.
Yeah, and I got crescent rolls, and it's perfect.
You didn't bring any.
Well, no, I didn't because they
were gone.
That's right.
Yes. No, that's a great idea. Oh,
we've got the oven. They've got the little toaster oven at work. Monday.
I don't think we have any more crescent rolls.
I thought we had some yesterday, but let's double check. But anyway. If not, yes.
Okay, so we got that. I think we hit all the other ones there. Punch also came out.
Oh, that's 50s. Right.
So you had the kiddies punch and the adult punch. And bread pudding.
Oh, yes.
Now
rice pudding as well.
And rice pudding, but good bread pudding, like if you go to Vegas, the Golden Nugget was when Wynn was in charge of that, when he brought that whole area back up in the Golden Nugget along with it. That was their claim to fame, was their bread pudding. And it still is.
Oh, yum.
Yeah. So just about any, well, I don't know if they have buffets anymore in Vegas, but bread pudding you could tell how good the buffet was by the bread pudding.
Do you like it? Okay. Do you like it with raisins in it or not?
Yes, raisins.
I do too.
Yeah. It's nothing but a glorified French toast.
That's true. Yeah. I actually saw a recipe today, which was like a cheap bread pudding, but you get like a pack of phyllo and you kind of accordion pieces back and forth. So you fill the whole tray, right? And then you stick that in the oven. So nothing else. Stick that in the oven for a while till it gets a bit brown. And then you mix a can of sweetened condensed milk with 2 cans of water and you whisk it together. Right. I would put vanilla in it myself and cinnamon, but that's me. You pour it over the top and you put it back in. You keep baking it. It has makes a custard at the bottom and then it's got like the crunchy phyllo on top.
There you go.
I'm so hungry after we do this. It's so terrible. So, a lot of the things, we had some innovations in the 50s, as we talked about, is when food became science. Oh, that's another movie that I don't think you've seen you need to write down.
What?
American Hustle.
American Hustle.
Okay, so that was in the 70s, but it just makes me laugh about it because he gets a microwave oven. Yeah. Some guy that's hooked up gives him it's a science oven. Science. But there were all these innovations going on, and people were using the box soups, and they were using the box cake mixes and all those things, and everyone was sticking a recipe on the back of it. Mm-hmm. So in the 50s, now I want you to think about what we still have now. So in 1950, Minute Rice and Kellogg's Sugar Pops came out.
Got
them both. Yep. 51. Orida Foods, so frozen potato products.
Still there.
Duncan Hines cake mix. Tropicana.
Still there.
1952. Good old Kraft Cheese Whiz.
Yep.
And Mrs. Paul's Fish Sticks.
Yeah, I don't know if Mrs. Paul's is still around.
I don't know.
Mrs. Paul's frozen fish.
But we still have fish sticks.
My friend Johnny used to call Mrs. Paul's frozen fish. Bing, bing. 1953.
Okay.
Eggos. I can't believe they're that old.
That's right.
And Charlie the Tuna.
Star-Kissed Tuna. We've got Star-Kissed at the moment.
Yeah, I think we do.
And
Swanson TV did. I know. I'm sure they're still in production.
Yeah, I'm sure they are.
Yep.
1954.
Tricks.
It was still
for kids.
That's
and
right.
still there.
And
Butterball turkeys.
And you got the Butterball Hotline.
Yeah.
1955.
Special K.
And
well, they were thinking about healthy then. Well, Kellogg's always thought about healthy.
Yeah. And well, to go with it, McDonald's that year.
Yes.
And 56, Imperial Margarine.
You remember those commercials?
Yes. The crown. Yes.
The crown comes on the guy. Yeah.
I do remember that. 1957, Pam.
I can't believe that's all the way back then. I don't know anybody using that till like at least the 70s. Maybe it was like reinvented. Maybe it came out then.
Maybe it was
died, and then they said, "Oh, here's an idea."
Or it was industrial, and then maybe like professional, and then went back.
Exactly.
1958, and this is one of our most popular things people beg us for. Tang.
Tang, yeah.
They do.
For the astronauts.
Astronaut drink.
Yeah.
And Rice-A-Roni.
Ding, ding.
The San Francisco treat.
Yeah.
I sing that often in the house.
Cocoa for Cocoa Pops. Cocoa for Cocoa Pops.
Yes. General Mills Cocoa Pops.
And
Puffs,
Jif.
Jif peanut butter. All still
Jif's
here.
For kids. For fussy mothers, choose Jif.
That's right. And in 1959,
Ocean Spray cranberry sauce. I thought that would have been out in like 1947.
You would think that, but no. So basically, in the 50s, there were smaller home kitchens. The availability of lightweight oven-proof cookware. That's very hard to clean, as we discussed a minute ago.
Now, we'll go through the years. Okay. Now, here's something I came up with. All right.
Yes, tell me.
What opened up in the 50s? Okay.
Tell me.
And they're still around, most of them. I think they all are.
I'll read it.
Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh,
1950 in Massachusetts.
Yeah, we talked about that.
1952 out of Texas. Church's Fried Chicken.
Yum.
1952 also, and started in Utah.
Right.
KFC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think he started it, but then he moved south.
Yes.
Okay. 53 in California. The place you want to go when there's no place else.
In-N-Out? No.
Denny's.
Oh, yes.
Yes. 53 down in Florida. I'm going to Florida.
Florida with an R on the end of it.
Burger King.
Right.
Okay. And 53 out of Oklahoma is Sonic.
Okay.
Yeah, Sonic's good. I like Sonic. I mean, they really made that cherry limeade.
Yes.
Remember we talked about that?
Yes.
54, back to California, and also all the link with McDonald's because they were across the street. Taco Bell. And you know the guy that owned it, his last name was Bell. You didn't know that?
I did not know that.
And then in Kansas.
Yes.
How did Kansas come up with Pizza Hut? 1958.
Someone who had a hankering.
A hankering for terrible pizza.
That was in the days too when you had the salad bar with the sneeze shield.
Oh. All right, so there's our.
That is good because you know what? If you went back in time.
Yep. Go back, way back.
You know, into like say 1960.
Yeah.
Things not as big, but you'd be recognizing so many things that you see now. Yeah, and they've gotten through. They changed the way we thought about things.
Okay, so
you know,
we're gonna wrap it up on this spot.
Yes. Now we'll just talk about LA Times.
Yeah.
So it has a heap of recipes. So here's a few others, and I don't think we've mentioned a couple, but only.
Yeah.
So it has a link for turkey tetrazzini.
Or chicken.
Yeah. Hawaiian chicken. There you go with the Hawaiian thing.
Yeah.
So California tamale casserole. Might not be as good as my grandma's, but we'll check. Chicken-cashew casserole. Potato chip casserole. Mom's More, which I think is like what I make called slop. It's like, Johnny Moussetti. That's another thing that's just a mix of everything together.
Oh, okay.
Tuna Oriental.
Yeah.
Lee's spaghetti casserole. And triple bean bake. We will put the link to the article, and that'll have all these recipes here for you to try. And actually, if anyone wants my grandmother's tamale pie, give me Hoy.
Well, why don't you just put it up there?
Well, I think they should ask for it.
Okay, yeah.
podcast@usafoods.com.au, and we can have a chat about it.
Yep, there you go.
Or
call Barbara. You get the phone number. Just dial the office.
Yeah.
And that's for Barbara.
That's exactly right.
If you ask for me, I was going to say, who's this?
Who's calling?
Who's this? Yeah.
What?
I'm not here.
Does he know you were calling him? Did you make an appointment? No.
No.
He's playing golf. He's not here.
I'm not here. Yeah.
Or my favorite, he's just in the warehouse right now.
Giving all the secrets out, Barbara. All right. All right. So we'll be back with Nat Nosh. Now, Barbara's going to give us some information about the store. But before that, this month's code is apple pie.
That's right.
Apple pie. Now, you know what goes with apple pie?
What?
Coffee. And
Coffee does.
We talked about coffee the other week, and you made cowboy coffee.
Yes, I made.
Giddy up.
I found a cowboy recipe, and I found it so I didn't make it for 45 cowboys. I found just enough that made a quart of coffee. Mm-hmm. So you get a pot, you put a quart of water in it, you heat it up.
Or liter.
Liter, yes. Well, make people look it up, Phil.
Yeah.
Come on. Right. It's an American show. Yeah. This is the one time I can do that. So when it gets warm, you have to wait till it warms. Then you put a quarter cup of coffee grounds in it. Don't stress. You just pop them in. And then you wait for it to get to a rolling boil. So once it gets there, you let it boil for 4 minutes. Not 3, not 5, 4.
4 minutes.
Then you take it off the heat. You get 1 cup of cold water. You pop that in on the top, and what it does, all the coffee grounds, bang, go straight to the bottom. So I poured many a cup, and the grounds stayed
on the bottom.
Stayed on the bottom. So I suggest you drink it black.
So much better than the French.
Yes, it is actually. The French press. It is lovely.
Comes out like muddy.
Yeah, and this is none of that. And I didn't need to put any sugar in it. It wasn't bitter at all. And the trick is, evidently, from what this gentleman said, this cowboy, was that because of the way it's boiled and what you do with it, it cuts the acid. It sort of cooks the acid out of it.
Right.
So you shouldn't have, if you have problems with acid reflux after having your coffee or indigestion, if you prepare it this way, this should avoid it. Good. So, and it was nice. The only problem is you kind of just want to make sure everyone's there to
you got to do it.
Drink it.
Got to get those blue cups sitting around the campfire.
Yeah. I actually did catch myself on eBay looking at a cowboy coffee pot, and I thought, if that shows up at the house, I might get murdered. But I could have it sent to work.
Oh, yeah, that's
there
true.
You go. Secret things. So, so we made that, and I highly suggest it, and I will see if we can put that in the description as well, because it's a very quick little recipe or a link to it. And if you want to come down and see us and buy some Folgers to put in your cowboy coffee, or we've got Duncan in as well.
Yeah, Duncan.
Well, you can come to 73 Cochrane's Road, Moorabbin. We are open Monday through Thursday, 10 to 5, Friday, 10 to 6, Saturday, 10 to 5, and Sunday, 11 to 5.
And if you need to get in touch with us, podcast at usafoods.com.au.
Yes, we would love to hear from you. That would be fantastic.
Okay, and now we're back to Nat Nosh. All right, so Wednesday, July 7th, National Macaroni Day. Now, did you have macaroni, pasta, or...
Yeah.
What did you call it?
Well, no, I didn't call them. If it was shaped like a macaroni, it was called macaroni.
Yeah.
So
it wasn't called pasta. Everybody calls it pasta now.
No, it was macaroni.
We never had pasta in our house. We had macaroni or spaghetti.
Yeah, no, wait. That's right. We used the terms, or bow ties. My mom used to make a good pasta salad with bow ties. But macaroni makes me think of Yankee Doodle.
Yeah.
Yes, Yankee Doodle. And we've got National
Strawberry Sundae Day.
You can't beat that.
Yeah, that's good. Vanilla ice cream, strawberries.
I don't think you can get that at McDonald's anymore.
They don't have strawberry?
No, I'm pretty sure it's just chocolate or caramel, or both if you ask nicely, like you told us.
Yep, and then on the July the 8th is National Chocolate with Almonds Day. I love chocolate and almonds.
I do too. My favorite Hershey's bar is the almond one.
Bar.
Yep, absolutely. July 9th. National Sugar Cookie Day.
Yeah, that should be done like this is all like in North America, but that should be more like a December
shouldn't it?
Day.
Yeah, I agree. Unless you maybe you're making some red, white, and blue ones for 4th of July, though. Maybe that's what they're talking about.
And then July the 10th, which is also more North American, is National Pick Blueberry Days.
Well, you can pick them out of the freezer here, or you can or you can pick them up for $14 a punnet at this time of year. But yes.
Yeah, and also on it's another nice holiday is National Pina Colada Day.
Can't fight a good pina colada.
Especially on a summer day.
Oh, nice. Even a virgin pina colada is nice.
Yes.
I do, but or have it with Malibu or just have it with rum. What do you do?
Malibu would probably be better,
That'd
spicier.
be good.
Yeah.
Now July 11th.
You go back to blueberries again.
Well, because once you picked them,
you got to eat them.
You got to eat them. So now we're making it's a National Blueberry Muffin Day.
Yep.
The cake by any other name, but it's so good.
Yeah, and then we go instead of going to pina colada. No, that's a pina colada is Spanish. And we're sticking with the Mexican term. So this is mojito day.
Oh,
I love mojitos.
They are
that's like a new drink that's like probably very old and came back like again. 10 years ago.
That's right, with all that muddled mint. That's yum.
And speaking of alcohol, on the 12th,
your breakfast drink.
Yeah, National Michelada Day. Oh. That's also something that just popped up now.
That's right. Well, because they sell it in a can at home, so it makes it easier. Like I said, Rory would wake me. Yeah, here's your breakfast, and here's a can of Michelada. And I'm like, woohoo!
I love the ones that we bring in. It's that big styrofoam cup.
Yes.
Right? And it says pour a large, in other words, one of those big tall boy cans of beer into it. And then drink it halfway, then pour the rest of the beer into it. Pour another, open up another can and pour it in.
And then have a nap.
Yes.
Or have more. So it's beer so it has tomato juice.
Yeah, like tomato, you can mix it with then tahini to put the rim around it.
Yeah, so it's like a spicy red beer.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to imagine putting beer into a tomato juice.
But it's really refreshing. It's actually, I quite like it. And here's another one that should be more, I think.
Yeah, holiday time.
Yeah. But hey, National Pecan Pie Day or pecan pie. Sorry, Mom.
Yeah.
I love it. And the only thing that makes pecan pie better is chocolate in it. Bourbon and chocolate.
Yeah. Now, speaking of bourbon and chocolate, one thing I did find out, because we were talking about muffins and all that, is bourbon sweet potato casserole.
Oh.
How could
Phil.
you, just like saying it, like,
that's good.
That's going to be good. So you make like your sweet potato casserole, like you do for Thanksgiving, right? So the difference is like you're putting like a cup of Jack into it, right?
Oh, Mom, did you hear that?
And then the bottom is crispy pecan crust that you do the bottom of the casserole with. How good would that be with the turkey this year?
Oh my God. And I don't have to drive because I have it at my house. Yeah. So yeah.
Well, you got to put enough bourbon in for the pecans, a little bit for the turkey, and enough some for you. Yeah. And then you got to try to make sure that the bourbon is fresh before you put it in. You got to
sample it. You got to make sure it's not poison. I understand that.
God, sounds so good. So remember that for Thanksgiving.
I will. I'm going to find out where you got that recipe. I'm going to look for it.
Okay. And then we have on July 13th, National French Fries Day, which is like every day. I love French fries.
French fries are great.
And one thing I got to say here, McDonald's French fries is just like anywhere else, but the Burger King French fries or Hungry Jack's
are better.
They really did a good job on their French fries.
Yep, they do.
Yeah, sometimes they're a bit saltier, but they're bigger, they're crunchier.
Yeah, it's a good thing, and sometimes nothing hits the spot.
Yeah, you know who also makes good French fries?
Who?
Hunky Dory.
Oh.
Which is like a local, for people outside of Victoria, it's like a local fish and chip shop that's franchised.
Okay. Yeah. I have not tried theirs because we kind of go, when we get fish and chips, we kind of go for a potato cake instead of the chips.
How bad is that?
I know. I know. Squished up potato fried in batter.
Speaking of bad food, Beans and Frank's Day.
That's right.
They're Frankenstein, yeah.
Now, I did not come from a Beans and Frank's family. So the idea of hot dogs in...
We had hot dogs on a roll, not with beans.
Yeah.
Beans might have been a side dish, but...
Yeah, so I kind of find that a little bit weird, but I'm not saying it's wrong.
Yep. And, okay, so that puts us to the end here.
Yes.
And let's say next week's thing to you.
Well, what have you been asking people for weeks?
Oh, yes. It's that time already?
It is that time.
It's Copycat Recipe Day.
Copycat Recipe time. So bring it, folks.
Yeah. And bring it. If not, we're going to bring it for you.
That's exactly right. Yeah. I've got a list where I'm going to try to find an Orange Julius one. And you want to look at El Pollo Loco?
El Pollo Loco. I've been looking for that for years. Yes. And I can't find a good one. Maybe I'll just look for Mexican grilled chicken.
Yeah, that might be it. Yeah. So this means we might have to cook things this week and try them.
Yeah. Before El Pollo Loco, I lived in Huntington Beach. Around the corner was this guy. He wasn't even Mexican, but made Mexican chicken. And he did like with a butter garlic thing onto it. It was unbelievable. Just this little bitty shop, in a strip center.
Those are often the best ones.
Yeah. Okay. So this week's sign off is anonymous. Who's that?
Someone that's afraid and runs off after they say it. Maybe. I don't know.
So a good marriage is like a casserole.
Only those involved actually knows what goes into it.
Okay.
That's
it's
it.
Something to think about.
It is.
Yeah.
It is like a whole bunch of mess thrown in there and you make it work.
So until next week, remember, get those cards and letters coming in and those copycat recipes.
Yes.
And if you went to like the New York City school union or whatever, that you went to school in New York.
Yes.
You know how to copy.
Well, can I just say, I might get a hold of Dolores because I copied her math work all 8 years of school at St. Bernard's.
Okay.
All right. We'll see you guys.
Bye.
Bye.